series. He had a really rough showing here when it comes to his TVPs. Hopefully Cure can put some points on the board coming into our next series. He cannot make it out of the playoffs. He cannot make it out of the group, I should say. It's not mathematically possible for him to make it out of the group, but regardless, he can still influence and impact SHIN standing. And here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Weibo Gaming WBG. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have its opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chats as we get our gamba going. Here we go. Live VIP with a cold take, takes, because they just are. Hot take would be something controversial. No, it's just the cold takes, pappy. The Hero just got too excited. Pappy. He was playing well, to be honest. He straight up was out positioning Max. He was out positioning him. He was trading very well, and he got too excited. For now though, we are going to be settling in. We did have a 15 gastric. Yeah, we had a gastric earlier, just for an earlier spawning pool. So interesting setup here. The gases are going to be a little bit later for SHIN. And we'll see what he's able to accomplish with these earlier links. I believe he should be trying to skirt around the edge of the map. Typically with this. As we have our queens on the way. There we go. 2 lings are in production. And I believe these 2 lings should be rallied across. Never mind, they're rallied to the natural. We'll see if he does move out and try to avoid the initial Reaper. As Reaper does skirt around the left-hand side. SV's on the right. And yeah, he does try to avoid. Oh, he will get out of vision of that SCV. Not bad. And again, the goal of these lings are to get across the map and delay the CC. That's the advantage here of going for an earlier spawning pool. Reaper pokes in. Queen pops out. And the natural base is safe. SHIN does hold. SHIN does defend. Meanwhile, that SCV is exposed. And SHIN is going for that SCV. Making a beeline for it. And with that, he will attempt to delay. Marine does arrive, and he does disrupt the CC, but he doesn't kill the SCV. So nice defense here from Cure. Again, it's going to be delayed by a couple of seconds, but doesn't lose anything. Oh my god. Yeah, we're good. We are good to go. Again, does a nice mining time with the SCVs. Third CC before starport. Economic build here out of Cure. Meanwhile, SHIN's third base was delayed because of the positioning of the Reaper. So a bit of a later third hatchery for SHIN. Reaper dives in, confirms the gases, and may even get a drone. Oh my god. Not quite. Meanwhile, the Reaper does overextend, is going to be shut down. And the game will settle. The game will settle from here. As Cure did go for an economic build, and again, SHIN, he's going for a bit of a ling flood early on. 12 lings are on the way. This is typically not really seen too often. You can make a handful of lings just to keep you safe against Hellion dives, but for the most part, this is quite an aggressive start here from SHIN. Does make those lings, saturating his third. Again, does get up to 14 lings here, whereas otherwise these could have been drones. And behind this 3cc, not Banshee, 3cc Liberator. So with this opener here, it does mean that Cure would be a little bit more vulnerable to roach-based play, but there are no roaches, so he's fine. Likewise, this means earlier stim. Typically, with a Banshee opener, you would go for an add-on swap, so you would not have a Tech Lab on the racks. Here, the Tech Lab stays on the racks, so you can go for an earlier stim timing. And you can set up to be a little bit more assertive here. I say that stim was delayed, I don't know if you noticed, but we did accumulate a lot of gas, so delayed stim here, but regardless, getting into his own bio follow-up. Aliens being active, Liberator towards the left-hand side. Oh, as Hellions move out, Lings they move in. Remember I said earlier, 14 Lings were made. That was quite aggressive at a SHIN, and so far it was worth it. Was worth it, gets 2 SCVs, forces back the army, delays mining time, and slips away. So I was questioning Shin for making those things earlier, but again, he made them worth their while. They did pay off. Oh, as they're getting caught out. And Shin just getting a little bit too excited there, getting a little bit too cavalier. Has to pull back, has to pull away. Queens are amassing. We have a lair on the way here for Shin, so Shin going lair first. Into roaches, not into banelings. Okay. Roach horn gets thrown down, double evo chamber. Shin playing very safe. Liberator into the bases. Hellions, they try to bypass the queens. Lings are in position. And they do collapse on the Hellions. Hellions gonna be forced back, and Shin, he will hold. And he will hold, he will shut this down. At the same time, Liberator does siege, but oh, it gets shut down by the Spore. So by the probe. Spore takes care of the Liberator, Hellions get zoned away, and Shin holds. Shin does hold. Checking Kira's vision, did he see the Roach Warren? He did. So he's aware of the Roach Warren. Likewise, double evo chamber for +1 and 1, so 1/1 upgrades on the way. So a lot of creep. And Roach-based play is typically very safe. It's a very safe way to play this out and to survive the early game, to shut down a Hellion aggression, to shut down early tank pushes with your Ravagers as well. It doesn't scale too amazingly into a longer game state, but it's a way to safely get you there. As we should not be seeing +2 range, we should be going into +2 carapace and +1 melee and switching from Roach Ravager into Ling Bane Roach Ravager. If we do see +2 range, that would be a sign of going Roach Ravager into Hydra Lurker, which is a very niche kind of style, but is viable. Likewise, Shin, he might just cut workers. We're droning up to 71. We're taking all 6 gases. And we're making a bunch of roaches. Let's go. Shin, I mean, the rush distance by ground is quite short on Persephone. Eyes are on Shin. No Bailey Nest. He may just max out on Roach Ravager. Rocks are being knocked down. Scan reveals the Roach Ravager itself. Here, yep, he comes back home with the tanks. Good call. If he attacked in, he would have lost those tanks. So far, Shin is zoning Kira away. As Kira does drop into the main. Queen's in position. Shin, he does counterattack, but we are well set up here. We got tanks, we got Sim City, we got depots as well. Kira's looking secure. Shin, he can threaten the mineral line. Takes down a depot. Gets one. Ooh. Doesn't quite get two. Marines are coming from behind. We get a full surround. Almost, but the flank here is brutal. Getting 1, 2, 3 Ravagers. And Shin, he has to get the hell out of here. These are brutal losses for Shin. Biles, they do not connect. Oh, they take down a medevac. Ah, not bad. But he will lose every Ravager. That was how many? That was 6 Ravagers going down. For a medevac. Behind this, Shin did drone. He did saturate, getting up to 85 workers. Meanwhile, there we go. +1 melees on the way. Baneling speed as well, as you mentioned, going into 1 melee, 2 carapace, getting into Ling Bane Roach Ravager. This is the standard follow-up, the standard transition. But Shin did lose all of his Ravagers, so he is vulnerable. And here comes the army. And how do you deal with this tank push? With Ravagers. And what did we lose? Almost all of them. There's 2 Ravagers left. There's no Biles. There's no Biles. There's barely any support. Kira's forcing his way through. Again, Shin trying to morph in more Ravagers to buy more time. There we go, 2 more Ravagers on the way. Speaking of, one of them is denied. Shin trying to rebuild. And he doesn't get close enough. There we go, Biles on the first tank. Oh, first tank goes down. 1 tank falls. At the same time, Ling Ramai getting eyes on the would-be CC. Kira pushing forward. Flanking Ravagers, they get 1 more tank. Not bad. 1 more tank goes down. And he barely gets within range of another tank. There we go, 2 tanks left, and Shin holds. Whew. Shin, he holds on, he takes out all the tanks. There's 1 tank left. There is enough for a Ravager. The Queen's coming for transfuse. Shin does survive, does clean this up. Whew. And does hold on to his bases. He did lose like 5 or 6 drones in the process, but for the most part, he does hold on, does defend. Cure backs up. Again, you can see the importance of Ravagers when it comes to this composition. Without them, the tanks, they just overwhelm. Likewise, we do see SHIN counterattacking. I mean, he does have momentum. Did reset the tank counts. Speaking of, are there any tanks to defend? I see none. Yeah, 0 tanks left over. A couple of Widow Mines trickling in. Speaking of, the Vials, they also shut down the Widow Mines. And Cure, he is in danger here. Bleeding out more Widow Mines, more fire, more Marines. Oh. SHIN is forcing his way forward. There we go. 0 Widow Mines left. 2 more coming to reinforce. Oh my god, they do connect. And SHIN, what's important is that behind this, he's trading out his roaches. He's bleeding out roaches, replacing it with Ling Bane. Or at least with Zerglings. Ultra Cavern's on the way. Hive is now done. SHIN rejoining up to 80. And where are those Banelings? Yo, let's go. You making us the healing pad? 7 Banelings on the way. We have a Baneling run by the right-hand side. A couple of defensive Banelings back at home. SHIN, can he hold on? Can he survive? He's trying to buy time, working on kindness plating, getting into ultras. Banelings, oh, they run into reinforcements. Yeah, not ideal. You know what, Curie does stim off the right-hand side. Widow Mines, they do not connect. Oh. Cure stimming on forward. And the Mind Shot surf. Oh my god, they pop up. They shut down the Ling Bane. And SHIN's in trouble here. He has some Banelings left over. He needs some good connections. So far connecting on Marauders. Nice spread here from Cure. He spreads well. Trades well here. A couple of parasitic bombs. More Banelings left over. But Cure, he has this. Yeah, he has this. He can just stim forward. 0 Banelings remaining. You have a couple of Ultras on the way. Cure is overstimmed. True. He is overstimmed here. Forcing friendly fire. As the Ultra goes down. Ooh. Bile takes down the Widow Mines. Still a very tense fight, but the overstimmed army here, it looks like it should be going down. Just barely. Oh, it's so close. It's so close. SHIN, he survives. Cleans up the Marauders, cleans up the Marines. And SHIN, he does hold on. Whew, just barely. Now, this was an expensive defense, bearing in mind he lost an Ultra in the process. But we have more Ultras on the way. More Ultras, more Banelings. SHIN, he maintains his economy. Oh, for the most part. Uh-oh. Jesus. Whew. Does maintain. Behind this, Cure rotating towards left hand side. Ultras are somewhat in position. And Mind just going off, denying those Banelings. Behind this, Ghost Academy is still on the way. Cure, he has no Ghost Academy, not yet. He has no Ghosts. Nice puts against the parasitic bombs. As Cure is still trading well against this. And Mind Shot's popping up. Another parasitic bomb here on the Medivacs. Oh, that's still 4 Ultras. And the Ultras, they can tank. They have their upgrades. They go +3 carapace. They have kindness plating. They're good to go. As they're trying to work their way through. Oh. Catching up more Marines. Powerbomb here, cleaning up almost every single Medivac. Oh my god. Medivacs are going down. Expensive losses here for Cure. Again, only making 2 Medivacs at a time. Cure, he is hurting. Behind this, double expanding. Getting bottom right. Taking the center base as well. Still very tense. Again, the SimCity working against Shin. Where are those ghosts? Just going up, gets into the mineral line, getting 10 more CVs. And Shin just trying to break Cure, or at least keep him back home. Behind this, he's not taking up. He's not going for like a Spire or a Greater Spire or anything like that. Has a decent economy himself. Still rotating. Still committing to Ling Bane Ultra. Now what's hurting here is the medevac count. Medevac count has been reset, so there's not too much support for the army. The Sims have been hurting. And Cure is still supply blocked. More Banelings morphing in. Shin is going for bottom right. I mean, the space is isolated. There's no saving this. There's no saving this expansion. It's just so out of its own. Curie tried to respond. Won't be able to. Planetary goes down. I appreciate that we saved the Banelings. As Shin, where are we going? Oh, Jesus. what's going on? Shin, we have to get out of here. As Cure does at least save the workers. SCVs are safe. Now we have the Spire on the way. Second starport for Cure. We did mention earlier that his medevac count was really low. But the second starport will help. Will assist. Oh. As Shinny does find one of the ghosts. How many ghosts are left? 8. 8 ghost Banelings. They crash into the mineral line. Planetary goes down and they trade a base for a base. Shin takes down bottom right. Cure takes down top left. They trade bases. Cure did lose a mineral line though. Did lose a mineral line. Mules are good, but are they good enough? This is retaking that base. What's important as well is that this CC is no longer going to be a planetary. It's now an orbital. Which means it can lift, but it also can't help defend. As we're catching out more of those ghosts. No infestors does make it a little bit difficult for the Bio Army to really be engaged into. Yeah, nice splits here from Cure. Oh, it does take some Banelings to the face though. Yeah, Banelings are connecting, but he cleans up all the Ultras. And again, there's no spellcaster support. Yes, there are Vipers, but without infestors. Cure, he can split. He can pull away, he can split, he can shut down the Ultras. Still no infestors for Shin. And GG gets called. Shin, he runs out of steam. He actually has no mineral bank. And with that, Cure takes game 1. Whew, GG. Shin is sticking with a bit of a lower tech army. Again, avoiding those spellcasters, sticking with Ling Bane Ultra. And he didn't really have an amazing economy behind it. Didn't have more bases. He was stuck on 79 workers or so. And in the end, ran out of steam. GG, well played. Cure takes game 1. Hi. Cure does take game number 1. Again, better fights towards the end for Cure. Still, things were quite intense between the two players. Things are still quite hectic. But better fights towards the end and did snowball out of control from there. GG, well played. And now we're getting into that second game. And we'll see if Shin can bring it back and force the ace match. Again, Cure, he has yet to take a series so far in this event, in this tournament. He has taken maps, but not series. Can he take his first? As we are loading into Killers, Mile, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can bring us to the ace match. It is Shin. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. After a very intense, very back-and-forth game, it is Cure. Here we go. Again, there were moments for Shin, moments for Cure. Again, Shin was playing pretty committed and pretty all-in towards the end there. Just not able to, or just chose not to replace the spellcaster to commit with just Ling Bane Ultra, trying to brute force it, and eventually was outscaled. was outscaled by Cure. This time we have a hatch pool opener. 15-15 out of SHIN. Interesting. SHIN going gasless. Okay, you have my attention. Yo, meanwhile, big shout out to Ken TQD in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gifted sub to the community. Gifted sub to Getcha as well. One of our regulars. Thank you. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. I hope you enjoyed the content, the casting, and the StarCraft. Thank you. Thank you. Do appreciate it. As always. Oh. As we are going to be settling in to our fresh series. Let's go. Let us go. As the players are building up. And the style that SHIN is going for, it is viable here on Killer's Mile. The reason for this is because of how narrow the ramp is. I'm just discussing the build initially here before we get too ahead of ourselves. Welcome to Killer's Mile. Killer's Mile does have a very short rush distance by ground, very direct as well, but it has certain distinct features like this ramp. This is actually a similar setup that we have on King's Cove and on Abyssal Reef. We have a narrow ramp with a choke point due to these rocks, which does mean you can actually wall this area off with a couple of buildings or even a couple of queens very easily. What that means is that then you have really only one way to harass here on the right hand side towards the third base, so your harassment options with Hellions are very limited. Because of that, these gasless styles are a little bit more common on this map. Oh, as here we go. As again, no gas. This is a gasless style here by SHIN. The reason why you can play gasless here, or the purpose I should say of playing gasless, is to skip link speed. You skip link speed, and more importantly, you skip link production as well, and you're defending with queens. You're defending with purely queens here early on, and this is difficult on a standard map, but as I mentioned, because you can wall this area up relatively easily, you can then focus your queens purely at your third base for third base defense, which makes it more difficult for Hellions to punish you. Not impossible, but it is difficult for Hellions to get into mineral lines and to roast up drones. So this is a very greedy style out of SHIN. Now, because the gases are so late, because link speed is so delayed, you typically go into roaches from here. And there it is. There's that roach horn. And you can see already kind of getting ready for that wall, getting ready to just set up. So it is going to be roach play here out of SHIN. Meanwhile, Cure behind this going 3cc into 1-1-1. This time add-on swap, this time Banshee. Let's go. Remember, last game it was 3cc into Liberator into earlier stim. This time Cloak Banshees. Good call considering the opener. Cure, he's aware of the gasless opener, and he's aware of the roaches that are going to be coming his way. Banshees are ideal against roach based openers. As you can see, queens, they do wall up. They deflect the Hellions. They do deflect. Roach production has begun behind this. Again, 7 roaches on the way. SHIN is droning. He is saturating. And we'll see if Cure can get something done here with these Banshees. Now, this is a 7 roach move out. Bearing in mind, this is not an all-in. We are droning. Like SHIN, he's droning up behind this. Now working towards Evo chambers, towards upgrades. And there we go. Banshee has arrived, and just like that, the push is deflected. Ideally, this moves out and this trades with the Hellions, and it maybe forces some SCVs off the mineral line. But again, Banshee openers just shut this down. He even gets a roach. Gets a roach towards the end. Cloak is on the way. And roaches are stuck at home thanks to the Banshee. Meanwhile, you can see full wall. We have a full wall up here with the roach horn alongside the Evo chamber. Now, from here, this can still lead into Ling Bane Roach Ravager, which, if you remember, we saw that last game where you open Roach, you get into 1-1 upgrades, and then you get +1 melee after +1 range, and you go into Ling Bane. It is still viable. So once again, Banshees are here to punish these roaches. Just really awkward movement here from SHIN. Leading out 2 more roaches. Ay, ay, ay. as Hellions, they rotate to the top side. Headed towards the natural. Towards the third even. They get into the mineral lines. So far they get one volley up and oh, they're right up. Oh my god, 6. He gets 6, he gets 10. One more volley. Getting 11. 11 worker kills. That could have been a lot worse here, but still good damage. 11 drones do fall. Banshees, they hit the natural. And despite the roaches, despite the queens, despite the defensive setup here, SHIN, he fails to defend. 15 workers go down. The Banshees, they do slip away. And SHIN, he is hurting. Again, the whole purpose of this build was to be greedy, and he's being punished for that greed. He's being punished for it. Now we have Link Speed on the way. Again, this confirms that we are going to be switching into Link Bane after this. Fast Hive is on the way as well. Interesting. This Fast Hive might be indicative here of faster Ultra production. There's that Baneliness. So Roach Ravager into Link Bane, into eventually Ultra Tech. I'm assuming Ultras and Vipers, of course. SHIN droning up to 81. Does redrone. Here comes the main push. Now, Cure, he does leave the tanks at home. So bear that in mind. He's leaving the tanks at home. Only moving out with the Marines. We mentioned earlier that Roach Ravager is ideal against tank-based pushes. They can just shut them down. So Cure, he respects that. Fights well with his bio. As SHIN, he will force back the drop. Again, he trades well. SHIN, he bled out a couple of roaches. Ideally, you want to get rid of them. I say that SHIN, he does replace the roaches for now, so he's being a little bit safe, being a little bit cautious. There we go. Ultra Caravan's on the way. First Viper is on the way as well. SHIN is keeping up. Is keeping up, is holding on. Here comes the main push. Now, bearing in mind that supplies can be deceiving here. Well, what's the phrase? The soup does lie, Bobby. Soup does lie. SHIN, he has inflated army supply thanks to his Roach Ravager, but what is important is the Viper and the Ultras. Ultras are coming out, and that one Viper is going to be a threat. One Viper in the main, gathering energy. Cure does move in. Oh, as the Queens overextend. Oh no, he can lose one. 1, 2, 3 Queens go down. Massive pickoff already. A nice catch there from Cure. He is slowly pushing forward here. But again, I don't think he's quite expecting that Viper. And not one sold Blinding Cloud, even 2 Blinding Clouds can shut this down. And allow for the Ultras to bust in. There we go, Ultras revealed. Cure, he's now more aware. He's like, hold up, you have a hive. Wind Mines are setting up. And likewise, here we go. SHIN, he does pull the trigger. He got the Lightning Clouds. He gets 1. Does cover 4 tanks. Yeah, the tanks have rendered inert. They get shut down, and SHIN, he will shut down this army. He will clean Cure up. Again, the hero Blinding Clouds, and with that Cure, he has nothing left. He has to get the hell out of here, has to pull away, and SHIN, it's time to keep going. It's time to keep on going. We don't turn around, we commit. There's some Wind Mines back at home, but it's going to be a tough hold here. Remember, Cure, he has no ghosts. No ghosts. No answer to these Ultras. As we are rolling in. Oh my god, Mine Shots are decent. And does Kai well here against the Ultras, but there's only so far he can go. He's running out of room, running out of map. Being pinned against his bases. Likewise, Roaches, they bust into the mineral line. 20 SCVs go down, and SHIN, he has done it. He has broken Cure. As there's nothing at the natural. And again, Cure caught with his pants down by the Viper, by the Hive Tech. And Cure, he will hold here at his natural, hold at his third. But it costs him 24 SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. SHIN is gonna lose this army, true, but SHIN, he has 78 workers. Like, he has an economy, he can rebuild, he can remax. And Cure does not. Cure, his economy is limping along. Mulling as hard as he can. Files going for the Liberators, going for the Widow Mines even. Ooh. Catching out too. Getting a bit of mech as well. Likewise, that one Viper, he's still there. The one Viper is still there, man. He's still there. Things they do throw in the mineral lines. Oh. SHIN, calm down. I mean, he does cancel those mines actually. And he breaks through. He breaks through in the end. I don't think I've seen that before, I'll be honest. Like, borrowing the links to cancel the Widow Mine targeting? That's crazy. I mean, it worked. And with that, SHIN, he does push forward. Again, there's just not really much behind this. A nice kiting here against the Ultra. Does kite well. Did the Viper survive? It did. Okay, Viper did survive. Gathering energy. SHIN is building back up. Ideally, SHIN wants to wait for Cure to push into him. Like, there shouldn't really be much pressuring SHIN to try to move out across the map and break these bases. Cure is recovering, that is true, but SHIN should be droning up to 80 at this point. Yeah, just now re-droning. Likewise, we did speak on game 1 about the failing of SHIN, or I should say about his failure to replenish his spellcasters, and that really did hurt him. Even here, he only has the one Viper, and even here, still not going for any infestors. Bearing in mind, there are no ghosts, like there's no threat of EMP, right? There's no threat of any kind of EMP or anything like that. Cure, he doesn't have that tech. That is where Vipers and infestors can thrive. So here we go. Cure pushing forward. Does for short. Parasitic Bomb here on the Metamax. Lings, they come in from behind trying to catch out Cure. And Cure gets the hell out of there. Oh, does pull away. Does pull away once again, kiting back. He does target down 1, 2, almost 3 of those Ultras. Expensive losses here for SHIN. And again, we're fighting so far off of creep like this. These are expensive losses. SHIN, he's running out of steam. He will lose so many Ultras. That was how many? That was what, 4, 5, 6 Ultras going down. Ay, ay, ay. And that was expensive. And SHIN, he's broke. Yeah, just like that, SHIN, he's broke. He's out of money. And Cure, he's got another base. He has a new planetary. He has a fresh mining base up and running. Ay, ay, ay. Cure, SHIN, he was doing well. He was playing very well here, but again, he did tunnel vision too hard, too much. GG gets called, and Cure, he will take the series 2-0. He will take down SHIN. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Cure. He will claim the series. He will take it. Again, Cure, he was able to get a handle on things here. Again, shout out to Cure for not really for not panicking too hard. Things were looking dire, bearing in mind that SHIN, he was able to break the third base, break the natural member. SHIN, he killed over 20 SCVs. Cure, his economy was in the gutter. But SHIN, he got a little bit too excited there. There was a little bit, maybe too much pressure on SHIN. He felt the need to end the game. But as we saw, if we had just calmed things down, taken a breath, decided to drone to tech up as well, SHIN would have been ideal to get into a longer game state with a lead, as there were no ghosts. There were no ghosts, no snipes, no EMPs. But in the end, SHIN, he felt the need to go for the kill. And in the end, did make mistakes, did trade inefficiently, and allowed Cure to bounce back. GG. GG, well played. With that, Cure does take the series, and with that, we are getting ready for our third best of 3 of the broadcast. Let's go.